Good morning, guys. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. Sorry for the last minute decision. I had an emergency. So this is why we changed the time of the lesson. So please send the other people a message. Tell them that we have a session right now to get in. Can you do this for me, please? Will you send them a message, guys?
Khulud sent.
All right, very good. Okay, guys, so yesterday we stopped, the last thing that we did was the last page of the homework that I gave you through the weekend. So today we are going to continue the very last part of the circulatory system. It's a very small part, actually. We learned about the heart, and we learned about how the blood comes in and gets out of the heart. We have learned about the different blood vessels that surrounds the heart and that goes over the whole body. And we have learned about the different types of blood cells. We know that we have the red blood cells, which is responsible for moving around the oxygen. We know that we have the platelets, which is responsible for any injury, to stop the bleeding and to protect the injury from any bacteria or any kind of dirt or dust that could get inside it. We also know that the white blood cells is responsible for your immune system. It is your fighting army against any of the viruses or the bacteria or any foreign bodies that may enter your body. And all of those are held by the plasma, which is the watery liquid that holds or that carries all of those different types of blood cells. In addition, plasma also have some digested food, some hormones, and the waste products like urea and carbon dioxide. Okay, so this is the composition of your blood. The last thing that we are going to talk about is uh, the types of diseases or disorders that may affect your circulatory system, and those diseases could be number one is something called the angina. And the angina is what we call a heart attack. This is what the angina is. It feels like a very strong and very tremendous chest pain and discomfort caused by that the heart muscle is not getting enough blood. So that is what causes the angina to develop. It's just like feeling a pressure or squeezing, and it may radiate to your left shoulder with your arms and necks and jaw and your back. the whole left side of your body is affected by the angina. It actually starts there. People feel like their left arm is a little bit heavier, and it has like this kind of pressure or pain which radiates to your jaw and your back. But it's not just a mild pain, it's a very strong pain because of the angina. So the angina is caused because the heart is not getting enough, the muscle of the heart is not getting enough oxygen rich blood. Okay, is it clear? Do you understand the angina? Hello, anyone?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
do you get it? All right, so this is number one. Number two, away from the heart, you still have, because the circulatory system is composed of the heart and the blood vessels. So the blood vessels is a part of your circulatory system. So any disorder that affects the blood vessels is also affecting the circulatory system. So away from the heart, there is something called the varicose veins, and the varicose veins is a type of disorder that hits the veins because some people have some very thin or very weak veins walls, and this is because of that the composition of the walls of the veins, it needs certain kinds of nutrients that your body does not have. So again, the walls of the veins need certain nutrients that the body is lacking, and this is why the walls of the veins become very weak, that it starts to swell and twist. The walls of the vein starts to swell and twist, and this is what causes this. I think you have seen, especially in old people and in pregnant women, this kind of shapes on their legs, or sometimes it's mostly on their legs. Um, Varicose veins are swollen and twisted veins that you see under your skin. It's usually in your legs, and this is because your veins have one-way valves that have to keep the blood flowing toward your heart. If the valves and the walls are not strong enough, this what happens. The vein starts to swell and gets twisted. Okay. Uh, Next is the anemia, and this is one of the very common kind of disorders that you can find in the circulatory system. And as I told you, since the circulatory system also includes your blood, because this is what runs inside your circulatory system, so if you have a disorder in your blood, then it will be considered as a disorder of the circulatory system. So what is with the anemia? There are several types of anemia. The most common type, or the type that we know about very much, is the lack or the decrease in the number of the cells, the red blood cells, and the protein that forms the red blood cells, which is called the hemoglobin. Sometimes the anemia is caused because of the shape of the red blood cells is not correct. Because what is the shape of the red blood cells, guys? Can anyone tell me what is the shape of the red blood cell?
Like a chair.
It looks like a pillow. It is
Yes.
round. It is round, and it has a depression in the middle. Some other people have this kind of anemia, that their cells, the red blood cells, actually look this way. Can you believe this? Some people with a certain type of anemia called sickle cell disease, their red blood cells looks like a crescent like this. Instead of looking like a round pillow-like structure, it looks like this. This round pillow-like structure is there, or it is designed this way to carry the oxygen atom. It carries the oxygen inside this depression around your body. But when people have this kind of anemia, which is called the sickle cell disease, their body cannot, or their blood cells cannot carry the oxygen on it, and those people suffer from tiredness all the time because their organs are not getting enough oxygen, and they cannot breathe really well because of the same situation. Another type of anemia is the decrease of the iron level in their body. The iron, is one of the most important nutrients that your body need in order to make the red blood cells. It gets into the making or the production of your red blood cells. So if you don't have enough iron in your blood, your body will not be able to produce enough red blood cells. So in general, anemia has different types. It is the deficiency of the number of the functioning red blood cells, whether because of the lack of hemoglobin, whether because the red blood cells are not the accurate size or not the accurate shape, or sometimes because you don't have enough iron to produce the red blood cells. Do you understand, guys? Do you get the anemia?
Yes.
Okay. Now next is the last one of your disorders, or the circulatory system disorder, is something called hemophilia. And hemophilia here is a problem that some people cannot stop bleeding. What does that mean? It means that it's very hard for their body to form this kind of clot, which the platelets do. I told you that the platelets is there in your body to stop the bleeding by making this crust over your injury. The people with hemophilia, they cannot do this. Their platelets are extremely damaged, that they cannot stop the bleeding once they are injured. And those type of people, they have a problem. Their problem is very big, because a small injury might keep bleeding for a very, very long time. Those people take specific medicines which help the platelets that they have in their body to start acting or to start producing more. But actually, their disease, although it looks very simple, but they are scared all the time of getting injured in a bad way, because if they got a large injury, they will not be able to stop the bleeding, and they may lose a lot of blood this way. So hemophilia is the loss of body's ability to make blood clots. Clots is the crust that the platelets form above your injury. This results in them losing a lot of blood during the injury. And they also, if you even pushed this person, or if you give them a nudge on their arm or something, their arm will form a very big bruise. Do you know what's the meaning of bruise?
Yes.
Yes, it's when someone gets a normal person gets really a strong hit on their arm or on their leg, and they form this blue mark in the side of, or the site of the injury. People with hemophilia, even if you nudge them, even if you push them by the arm or something, they are very prone to bruising. So in general, there are four types of disorders that may affect your circulatory system. The first one is the angina. The angina goes directly to the heart, which is the core of your circulatory system. The heart muscle is not getting enough oxygenated blood, and this is what causes the angina. The second thing is the varicose veins, which affects the veins because of the weak walls of the veins that causes some veins to be swell or twisted, and it happens mainly in the legs of some people. The third type of disorder is the anemia, and the anemia is the deficiency of the numbers of the red blood cells, or the decrease in the number of or the quality of the red blood cells due to the decrease of many things, like the hemoglobin, which is the protein that makes up the red blood cells, or the iron, which gets into the production of the red blood cells. Maybe sometimes the red blood cells are not the correct size or the correct shape. And the last one is the hemophilia, which is the disorder of the body inability to make blood clots and stop the bleeding of any injury. Okay, so this is it. This is the disorders of the circulatory system. We know that the word aerobic respiration is represented by this chemical equation. Glucose plus oxygen gives carbon dioxide, water, and energy. And the glucose is very important for your body because this is what the energy is formed from. So the glucose breaks down and starts to produce energy. Without glucose, without oxygen, without your body ability to make this reaction between the oxygen and the glucose, your body will not be able to produce energy. Glucose passes through the walls of small intestines into the capillaries. So where do we get glucose from? This is where the digestive system and the circulatory system are connected. Any food that you eat, eventually it breaks down into the simplest form, which is the glucose. Whether what you eat are carbohydrates or proteins or whatever, the main aim of eating is to produce enough energy for your body to perform everything, to perform every single thing, even moving your arm. So energy is needed from the glucose because of all of this. At the end of the small intestine, when the absorbing of all the nutrients occur, glucose is also absorbed from the small intestine into the blood through the capillaries. The glucose stays in the plasma, so it's not carried in the red blood cells, or it's not carried in the white blood cells. It stays in the plasma until your body is ready, or the red blood cells brings the oxygen and they start all to move together to the body organ that will form the reaction in between the oxygen and the glucose, and they will start to break the glucose down to make the energy needed. The whole thing is, it just goes with the whole circulation. As we have learned at the beginning of the circulatory system, it just goes with the whole circulation, goes into your body from the right side, and then into your heart, sorry, from the right side, and then it moves around to your lungs, and from your lungs back to your heart, and then from the heart it just goes to the rest of your body. Okay, now we are done. We're finished. I want you to open your resource packs, please. We have like 2 pages missing. We're going to, or 3, I think. We're going to finish them quickly and we're done. And starting tomorrow, no, the day after tomorrow, I will be preparing very good PowerPoint for you that will help you with all what you need. Everything that you need to get into the exam will be there in the PowerPoint. It will be very simple. And I will also make you a small worksheet, and I will upload it on Classera so that you can also answer some of the questions to train. All right, guys, did you open your resource pack? I want you to open page 51, please.
Okay.
The rest are asleep, right? I think you don't have anything on the first session.
Yeah, we were supposed to have nothing on the first session.
Yeah. I didn't know that. I told Mustafa yesterday about my emergency, and
This page
this is page 51. And she said, okay, I will send them emails, and apparently something went wrong this morning.
They maybe did not see the email, but Khulud sent them on all the
yeah,
correct
it's fine, it's fine. This will be recorded, so anyone who missed the session, they simply can go, and I didn't take any attendance today because I know that some people will not be able to make it. So it's totally fine. I will record the session and I will upload it and everything will be okay. Question number 4 says, remember that a blood is made up of 4 different things: plasma, red blood cells, platelets, and white blood cells. They even gave us the percentage of each of them. So you can see that most of the blood is made of the plasma by about 55%, and then followed by the red blood cells, which makes about 44% of the blood. And the platelets are about 0.05%, and white blood cells are also like the platelets, about 0.05%. Of course, you don't have to memorize the percentages. Do not memorize the percentages, okay? Now the directions: label each section of the pie chart with the correct part of blood listed above. Next, color the pie chart with a different color for each part of the blood. Write the colors you used here. This is a very simple question. So I'm going to say that I will color the plasma yellow, and maybe it will be more fun if I wrote the name with the color that I'm going to use. So I'm going to color the plasma yellow. The red blood cells, of course, I will be red. I will choose the platelets to be purple, for example. Do I have purple here? Yeah, purple. And the white blood cells, I will choose, what color should I color the white blood cells, guys?
white.
Oh, this is very funny. Let us make it dark blue. Okay. Blue. All right. So now, who would like to tell me which color is which? So you have here the pie chart. What do you think should be the largest part of the pie chart? Hey, Yasin Abdel Hamid.
The plasma.
The plasma, exactly. So I'm going to color the plasma. Oh, wrong color, sorry. I'm going to color the, no. Okay, yes. So I'm going to color the plasma, this half, which represents about half of the pie chart, because the plasma is 55%. So this should be the yellow color. Of course, you can color it in a very decent way in your books. I'm just trying to do so in my laptop, so it's not helping. Okay, Hannah, which part should I color red?
Other half.
The other half, which is missing a little piece, right? So I'm going to color this one red, which represents the red blood cells, which is about 44% of the whole blood composition. Okay, and continue, Hannah. Which one should I
And
color?
purple and blue, the other two pieces.
The other two pieces, which are they are about the same size. And the blue one is next to it. Of course, you can choose whatever colors you want, guys. This is just my choices, right? Those are my choices. And if you want to label them, that would be perfect. If you would like to label them, that would be perfect. Like say this is the red blood cells. And this would be the plasma. And this would be the white blood cells. I'm just going to write it WBC, which means the white blood cells, and this is the platelets. Right? Okay. Are you done? You can color it later. You just have to.
Miss,
Yes.
Hannah did not know that we have a session.
I know. She
went
got
in
in. I know. Guys, don't worry about it. This whole session will be recorded. It's totally fine. I will not take it attendance. I know that it's a last minute call, so it's totally fine. Okay. So anyone who wants to see this will be uploaded by the end of the day. You will find it on Classera. You can rewatch it again. And it's, as you saw, it's a very simple session. I did not give you like major stuff. Is it hard?
No.
No.
Just simple things to finish up this part of the lesson. So the questions down here is, Ruqayya, what makes up the most of your blood?
Red blood.
No.
White blood cell.
No. Look at do you have the book?
Platelets.
Honey, the most of your blood, you're looking at the platelets and white blood cells, which are the least of your blood, those small parts. What's the most of your blood made of? Do you have the book, Ruqayya?
Plasma.
Yes, thank you. Plasma. Plamsa. Anyway, okay, and what makes up the least of your blood? Continue, Ruqayya.
The least of the blood.
There are two things that makes the least of your blood. Dear, I want you to look at the beginning of the question. Question number 4, at the beginning, very beginning of it in your book.
Platelets.
Platelets and?
White blood cells.
Yes, exactly. Platelets and white blood cells. Okay. Now I want you to open page 52. Page 52. Are you done? Should I erase?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Page 52. Question number 5 says, Sally measures her pulse rate before swimming 10 lengths of a swimming pool. 10 lengths of a swimming pool. She measures it again afterwards. What effect will swimming 10 lengths have on her pulse rate? This is something that we already took in the first trimester. How will this affect her pulse rate? Limar,
Yes.
what happens when she plays any type of sports? How will this affect her pulse rate?
Pulse rate will be higher.
Increase,
Her heart
yes.
will be faster.
So yes, pulse rate will increase, right? Okay. What is the name? Continue, Limor. What is the name of the liquid in the circulatory system?
Blood.
Blood. And the last question, the list shows 3 useful substances and 1 waste product. They are all in a liquid in the circulatory system. Which one of these is a waste product that is produced by the body?
Carbon dioxide.
Carbon dioxide. All right. Are you done?
1 second.
Okay. We need to finish up. We still have 1 page to finish. Are you done, guys?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. And question number 6 says, the heart is made from a special muscular tissue that doesn't stop contracting. So it needs a special type of blood supply. Name the circulation that is responsible for this blood supply. Name the circulation that is responsible for this blood supply. What? Okay. I will skip this and I will go to page 55 because I need to finish at least this page. And then if we have time, we'll get back to it. If we don't, then we will do it next time, okay? Mention the key features of that describe each of the following circulatory system disorders. First, the angina, guys. The angina. Tell me about the angina. What is what causes the angina, and what does the person who has the angina feel like? Anyone?
1 second, I'm thinking.
Okay, I will do it quickly because we really are short.
Heart does not
Okay.
get oxygenated blood.
Yes, the heart muscle is not getting enough oxygenated blood. So what happens? Strong pain radiating through the arm, the left arm mainly, the jaw, and the back. Okay, this is the angina. The varicose veins, you will simply describe how they look like. So you will write that they look swollen. And
why shouldn't we write what causes them?
No. They just want the features. So whatever you remember from this, swollen and twisted veins. By the way, varicose veins is very uncomfortable, and it makes like this uncomfortable pain all the time. It makes people who have them, they couldn't stand for a long time. Anemia is the decrease in the number or quality of the red blood cells. And the last one is the hemophilia, which is,
Miss, we have another session right now.
I'm going now, is the inability of the body to make a blood clot. You can write stop bleeding. All right. This is it. I'll be seeing you next time, guys. We're done. We just have this simple question that I hope you have the time to think about it. And then I will see you the day after tomorrow. We will be revising. Is someone talking to me? We will be revising. What?
Where's the PowerPoint of the circulatory system?
You will find it in last week Classera. I'll tell you something, Yassine. Would you like me to upload all of the 3 PowerPoints again this week? The acids and alkalis and the respiratory and the circulatory, would that suit you?
Yes.
Okay, I will put it again this week, all of the PowerPoints, okay? I'll see you next time, guys. Bye.